Welcome back to Lantern Insights. Today we're going to be playing Mono Blue Lantern, really changing it up, trying out some counter spells. So for those of you unfamiliar with Mono Blue Lantern, basically right after Preordain got unbanned, there was a list that 5-0'd with Preordain in Lantern, playing counter spells, decided to try it out. I've worked with it a bit over the years, and this is kind of my most recent list playing Mox Opal. Kind of the advantage to this list is Word of Invention and counterspells kind of let you play at instant speed. So you have a bit more flexibility. It's a bit grindier against the control decks. Um, just having some interaction points there. Obviously, you can struggle a bit against aggro if you can't empty your hand, but Cookbook really helps with that. And then the main advantages of Mono Blue are obviously our mana base is pretty consistent, and then we get access to Harbinger of the Seas in the sideboard. So there's a number of black-red lists floating around of Lantern playing Blood Moon, and Harbinger of the Seas is basically a blue Blood Moon, which is better against I mean, it's very good against a lot of decks too. Things like Titan, all the Eldrazi decks running around, we have Harbinger to bring in. As for the mana base, we're trying out Archway of Innovation. Kind of came across it when I was looking through cards. All it really lets us do is play Ensnaring Bridge for 2 mana. If for some reason we don't have access to, like if we have some mana rocks but we're stuck on 2 lands, we can play Ensnaring Bridge on 2. We're playing a lot of islands, so I don't think the tap clause is a huge deal. We're just trying out 2 copies. I don't expect it to come up a lot, but I think it's nice to have. The rest of the list is pretty standard. We got Lantern, Shredder, Emery's, and Ashiok's in the sideboard. I've been really liking Ashiok into those like Titan decks. It's really good there. And then just a bunch of like one-of artifacts that we can find with Whir of Invention. Just having that tutor and that flexibility is really good. So we're going to try it out, and I'll see you in game 1. All right, into round 1, and we are on the draw. I think we can keep it. We got Witching Well for some smoothing, Codex Shredder. Well, against Domain. Depends how fast of a start they have. The one good thing about Domain, we can hold counter spells. Okay, that's not that fast. We can hold counter spell up. Like they don't get under bridge very easily. So they have big creatures. I guess Ragavan would be something to worry about. We're going to lead on Witching Well here, just hide a bit of information. And we're going to put both of those on the bottom because we need a 3rd land. And then next turn, probably Torpor Orb into Bridge, then some combination of Codex. Maybe we should have played out the Codex first, but Witching Well just to smooth the draws out a bit. Also works really well with Word of Invention. Okay, they searched anyway. Even though Leyline turns it on. I mean, turn 2 Scion, yeah, should be fast enough here. Academy Ruins, I like drawing. If we had another 1-drop, I'd probably play it out, but Codex Shredder is easier to fit in on later turns. Honestly, we wouldn't mind a Mox Opal here. I mean, we are going to need a 3rd blue source for Whir of Invention. And then technically we can go Academy Ruins, Codex Shredder, Improvise, get down Ensnaring Bridge. So actually, this Archway's coming up in the first game here. Definitely didn't think it was going to be this prevalent. But it is going to allow us to do hopefully something cool here. So then we're going to Codex Shredder. And then we'll also only have 3 cards in hand, so Scion won't be able to get in. And then if they have Leyline Binding in hand, then we'll have to use Whir of Invention in order to go get it. So we're going to do that. Maybe Archway of Innovation needs a bit of exploring in Lantern. It's hard because you're paying 2 mana and Bridge is like literally the only card that costs more than 2 mana. So it's really only to cast Bridge faster. but 2 mana bridge is okay. They're gonna consign to memory. That's fine. It's kind of sad. Um, we are gonna need one more blue mana for Whir of Invention. Yeah, everyone playing main deck consigned to memory. I think, yeah, Eldrazi and Affinity, we kind of get hated out because of that. Um, but obviously, it's a really, really strong card. And we're just going to keep taking 4. They're going to play Kavu, so it's 9 damage. That puts us in bolt range. Um, yeah, I think we go when they're tapped out because it's more likely. I think they play more, like they don't have force. We've already seen one consigned to memory, so now we need, like they need a leyline binding. And then if they, oh, they have leyline binding. Well, we gotta draw another one. Kind of too bad that this, I guess we wouldn't have been able to hold up Metallic Rebuke anyway. Well, we're seeing the good and the bad of mono blue. So we need a draw here. We're just gonna have 6. Um, take 9. If they have both, we're just dead right away. Right, they're gonna discard Legend of Roku. Oh, all the way up to 36. Don't think we'll be killing them this game. And they just have Bolt. Alright, well, sideboarding. We want Welding Jar, because they play red. Torpor Orb doesn't really do a lot against them, because it just targets creatures. Pithing Needle doesn't really do much against them either. If they don't have Leyline, Harbinger is really good. If they do have Leyline, Harbinger doesn't do that much. So maybe we bring it in. It's really just like getting Ensnaring Bridge. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't hit them. And then Pithing Needle they don't really care about. We could bring in Emery, I guess, but Emery's more for kind of those value, more grindier matchups where things like just looping a extra Mishra's Bauble every turn can win you the game. And I don't think that's a matchup like this. It's just about bridge. Alright, yes, we would like to play first. And do we want the double saga hand? I mean, 5 lands and a witching well? Probably not. I mean, it has bridge. That's the card we care about. Double bubble. We're probably cracking them aggressively. I think we keep. Put Pithing Needle on the bottom. And yeah, keep. Put Pithing Needle on the bottom. See what they do. They are down to 6, which is good. And bubble. They don't have Leyline, so Harbinger might be useful. Well, they do have Leyline binding, so that's going to be good. Again, Harbinger should be good if we're able to find it. Now, them having access to Leyline binding, you kind of see the downside of not having hand disruption. But I think in terms of looking at this version, basically anytime we draw a counterspell, say if this were hand disruption, would we be in a better position? And I think they're obviously holding open a consign to memory, so we are not going to play into that. We are going to play Pixis, bait it, because, okay, ignore everything I said about we're not going to play into it. If they want to counter Pixis, that's fine by me, because then we can play Bridge next turn. Because we are kind of going to have to slog through some removal, just knowing that they have Leyline binding. And then obviously we want to use Mishra's Bauble on ourself here. And they did shock in Steam Vents, which means if they want to Triome to have all their colors, they can't play a 2-drop this turn, which I think is a win for us. Like from their perspective, it's probably better to hold open the mana this turn than it was last turn, because we don't have a ton of impactful 2-drops. And by a ton, I mean 0. So yeah, they're going to be up to 4. Honestly, Harbinger of the Seas would be like one of our best draws right here. So we're gonna look at our own top. Counterspell, I don't think helps us right here. Well, we're gonna play everything out. We know they have Leyline Binding, but that'll only kill one thing, and then we will have 2 copies of Whir of Invention, so I can get 2 more bridges if needed. We are only playing 3 bridges. And their Leyline Binding's gonna cost 2 here. So they can get in. We can then Whir of Invention for another one. So they might hold off Leyline Binding, seeing the Whir. They probably just want to get in. And then the one downside to this version is you are always kind of guessing on what's in their hand. So tells like they definitely have a consigned to memory in hand. We're actually just going to write that down. I'm saying they 100% have a consigned to memory in hand, based on them shocking Steam Vents and holding that open on turn 1. Knowing that they did play a fetch land the next turn too, so. And we're gonna go Kavu. So you do have to be aware of Arena of Glory. Discard a Flage. We took Grafdigger's Cage out, right? We did. So we are gonna have to be aware of our life total. But with Pixis as our mill rock, that'll hopefully limit a lot of the fuel for Flage here. And they're just going to pass, obviously holding up consigned to memory, which does not counter Whir of Invention, so we're just going to pass back. And then upkeep, we're going to Whir of Invention. It could also have Stubborn Denial, I guess. That would be the other counter. Kind of would have done the same thing as Steam Vents. Mystical Dispute. Yeah, that works. Nope. I honestly don't hate this, because that lets us draw Urza Saga. So maybe they were holding up Mystical Dispute on turn 1? But like our only 1-drop is Witching Well. I would have loved it if they Mystical Disputed a Witching Well. So, oh, that's kind of too bad. It's going to take our Saga. And no blue mana up. So yeah, they can draw another Ragavan. Like, if we're able to find, like, to land a bridge, we're in decent shape. Metallic Rebuke is not really what I want to see, so I probably just upkeep Whir of Invention, honestly. Because, I mean, I could hold it, but if they have an answer... Well, so they have 2 cards in hand, one of which is the Ragavan. I think I know the other one, but I'm not sure. They can't cast Flage yet, so the question becomes, do I Whir of Invention now, or do I draw Metallic Rebuke? I think we'll just draw the Metallic Rebuke. And then do it while they are tapped out. And then go get one more Ensnaring Bridge, and let's see, I guess we can F6 here because we can't do anything no matter what. And then, like I talked about earlier, we can hold Metallic Rebuke, probably for Flage. But then we are in decent shape. And then with Pixis, it's kind of hard to mill yourself to dig for more mill rocks. So if this was a codex shredder, we could aggressively use it to mill ourselves. Harder with Pixis, which is kind of nice that Pixis exiles, not nice that you don't aren't able to use it on yourself. Because you don't want to Pixis exile something, you can get punished for being too greedy in that sense. Another Arena of Glory. We didn't have this game. And they're just gonna pass through. Yeah, play Ragavan. And a bit unfortunate that Metallic Rebuke is not just a hard counter here. Pithing Needle, again, not super relevant, but like that's what I mean. If it was Codex Shredder, we would definitely mill the Pithing Needle. We are gonna Pixis this Flage because we do not want them having to. No, it's kind of a double-edged sword because Pixis will keep a lot of cards out of their graveyard. And we did leave, yeah, so we have Underworld's Cookbook, which we will likely need to find at some point. And then we're going to activate Pixis, and we cannot use its second ability. We'll have to remember that. So we're going to exile Flage. And probably upkeep exile Leyline Binding because we don't really want to Mox Opal here. And yeah, they have enough to pay for Metallic Rebuke, so we're going to hope to fade one draw here. Lantern. Steam Vents, that's a fade, we'll take that. Didn't realize how low their claw. I guess we're in game 2, or not game 1, never mind. I was gonna say that's a lot of time, but pretty normal, all things considered. And they draw another Leyline Binding, so we're actually gonna upkeep Pixis again because we don't want Mox Opal. I think we just fire the Rebuke off here because we don't want it in hand. Because we'd rather find a counter spell on top and hold that up, as that can actually, like, if we have a counter spell in hand, then we can let one card through. That is another advantage to counter spells, is that if they aren't playing 1-power creatures, you can hold one if your lock's a bit sketchier. So like hand disruption wouldn't be Leyline Binding here, but I will absolutely take an Urza Saga, although maybe I should be keeping track of their hand better. I still don't know if they have a consign in hand, so they might be able to stop that trigger. And yeah, we're kind of in wait and see until we get something good on top, or they get too many good hits in a row. Lightning Bolt actually kills us, so we're gonna have to get rid of that. Saga's probably getting Underworld's Cookbook if we're still alive, because they're gonna escape Flage and put us down to 3. Yeah, and then Bolt would kill us. And then Flage on the battlefield is kind of where we want it. We don't want them to be able to have 2 Flages. Yeah, again, upkeep. Pixis is going. I guess if they had Consign, they would... Well, now they have Consign. We're going to play a Mishra's Bauble. We might... I don't know if we're going to draw a card to get this Metallic Rebuke. Not right now, I don't think. We did not want them to have Consigned to memory, but we can't really do much about it. Actually, we probably will bauble so we have an extra card so that Cookbook does gain us 3, because then they'll draw Flage next turn, bolt us, but we'll be able to gain 3 off of either the bauble card or what we draw for turn. Unless they consign to memory that. Or they just consign to memory chapter 3. It's going to be a bit dicey here. And Mishra's Bauble, because we want the extra card. I think upkeep we have to Pixis. And then if they counter this, then we get Cookbook offers a Saga. Ooh, nice looking Godless Shrine. Yes, we would love to draw Codex Shredder. Oh, and they're seeing the Harbinger of the Seas. We're not going to draw it here, obviously, but don't love that they saw that. Would have liked that to be a surprise, but I mean, obviously it's worse on the draw than it is on the play, but we can get it turn 2 with Mox Opal. Yeah, so they're going to counter the search ability, which will stop us from getting Underworld Cookbook. So now we just got to use Pixis on Flage every chance we get. Although we will probably play this Harbinger. And then I think, yeah, Godless Shrine here. Tapped. Play Scion, that's fine. I think we got this one locked up. So I'll be back. Well, I guess we'll just play Harbinger. Oh, I should have milled Consigned to Memory on their end step. That's my bad. So I was literally about to say they don't actually have blue mana, and then I realized that no, this gives them nothing but blue mana. Like the thing is, can we win with 2 mill rocks? And the answer is absolutely. Do I still want to mill the consign anyway? I think so. Maybe that's a sign. We can't risk a Flage or Bolt being, yeah, that. So consign, yeah, they can kind of one time stop a mill rock. Kavu, and yes, the other thing is we now gum up the ground pretty good. So we can just hold counterspell, and now our lock is way stronger because we can just let something through. Like we're not gonna try to let something through, but we can if we want. So I will see you when we sideboard for game 3. Alright, they conceded here to us exiling Flage. As you saw, we got like a bunch of Codex Shredders out. In terms of sideboards, they had Wear and Tear. I believe there's another Wear and Tear. We only ever saw one Wrath of the Skies. So I don't know. There might be another one in the last like 14 cards. We did get pretty well through most of the deck. Mystical Disputes, Consigned to Memory, that kind of stuff. Does, yeah, Harbinger obviously very good against Domain. I think because they saw it, I wonder if there's any consideration for Witchbane Orb with Tribal Flames and Lightning Bolt. And so Flage also does target in addition to those two, so I think we might bring in a Witchbane Orb. Just being able to get it off Word of Invention, I think feels good. Pithing Needle is actually like stone dead. We saw nothing that Needle is good against. I'm saying that and then I'm second guessing myself, but yeah, we saw nothing that it's good against. Torpor Orb shuts down Flage, Grafting. But like how many answers do Flage two Flage do we want to have? I feel like Witchbane Orb hits the most things, and then we can just let them have Flage. So yeah, maybe we stay on two Harbingers, and we'll try it like that. Their clock, they were running it down a bit. You know, they're under 9 minutes, so. Hmm. This hand. So if we draw blue land plus 1 drop, that's turn 2 Harbinger. Otherwise, we have to draw an artifact to then get bridge down early. I don't love having 2 Saga, but we're gonna try it. Ragavan is their only turn 1 play, which kind of looks like they have here. Yeah, so we obviously don't like that. Ooh, that is a bit unfortunate. Um, yeah, that's not what we wanted to see. This might be a downside to the arch. Like once we get it down, it will allow us to play these bridges cheaper. Ragavan's gonna get in. What's it gonna hit? Oh, huh. Or one of Witchbane Orb. Fortunately, they can't play it because it is also good against us. Unfortunately, we now can't get it with whir invention. What's actually funny is this does allow us to make Urza Saga tokens. I wonder if he counters this ability. I think it's a fair card to counter. He's gonna get a Triome in order to set up. This gives him everything plain Swamp Forest, so he has the Leyline Binding active off the treasure. He is gonna oh, he's gonna counter it twice so that we can't counter back. That's fine. Do we play? I think we just slam bridge. He'll have an answer. If his answer is wear and tear, we have something for that, but we kind of just want to get it out of our hands. Another advantage, if you can call it that, to mono blue is Ragavan can't hit removal for any of the deck. You know, if you don't play removal, Ragavan can't hit removal. If Ragavan hits the Underworld's Cookbook here, though, I'm going to be cheesed. I do only have 3 cards in hand, which is something we have going for us. And we took out Pithing Needle, so that's one less card that Ragavan cares about. I mean, you can play Lantern. I wouldn't mind that. Well, we saw Archway was good in game 1, not looking great here. One thing we can do is tap Opal, have the Saga trigger go off, get another Opal. And then play Harbinger, which would then lock Urza Saga on 2. Kabu's fine. I mean, it looks like they have something for. I'm kind of assuming they do. Um, the question is, yeah, we're gonna float mana off Saga for sure. Yeah, we just have to do that because then we can play this island. So we're gonna search, see if they counter this ability. They do not, so we are gonna get a Lantern. Do they counter this ability? No. So then we're gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, Harbinger. Which would then give us the ability to make an Urza Saga token every turn. So they now just have islands. I will Oh, Ragavan can still get in. That's a bit unfortunate. I would have loved it if it couldn't. They just have Bolt for it. It's not a Bolt going at our face. Yeah, that's fine. Bit unfortunate. So they have Scion and one unknown in hand. Yeah, get in with Ragavan. They're gonna draw the counterspell, which we kind of wanted to have, but it's totally fine for them to steal that. And then we're definitely just grabbing a Codex Shredder off Urza Saga. Um, we have backup bridge in hand. Okay, so their last two cards were Flage plus Scion. They have Scion in hand. Maybe it's Cookbook? I think we're in a pretty good position here. Uh, we're just gonna float mana. We know what their last card is. We don't need to make a construct. Grab the Codex Shredder. Play. So it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3. Snaring Bridge. We are going to take 3 off Flage, but hopefully that's it. And we have Pixis to exile. So I will do a bit of a cut. We're trying to speed it up. I know Lantern's a slow deck in general. We're trying to make the videos a bit faster. It's still going to be half an hour for game 1. But hopefully a win, as long as nothing goes wrong. Well, we ended up having a nice little conversation with their opponent here. As a very new to modern player, I was uncertain how his deck won. Um, but I am glad that he enjoys Lantern Control, and he said I'm funny, so I'll take that as a win. He's talking about extra sideboard cards. Like, yeah, sideboard cards matter. I mean, like I've always said, I think the general strategy matters a lot more than sideboard cards. So if you're playing a deck that Lantern is very favored against, but you have like 3 meltdowns in your sideboard, I don't think that changes it a lot. It's very like if you're a deck that we struggle against already, and then you put 3 meltdowns in your sideboard, definitely way better. Um, here, I mean, we're up to 20 life. We're just gonna exile Flage, and it is very much over. I don't really want him to time out because I do like the satisfaction of milling. Oh, another recommendation, Rule 104.3a is the rule in Magic that says you may concede at any time. So if your opponents need reminding of that rule, always think that it's a pretty funny way to go. Witching Well, Scry 2, bottom, bottom. Yeah, don't like how it just changes the UI window uh, for your library when you scry. I will say that is a very real downside to Witching Well. Consigned to memory, you got it, buddy. Actually, I do want to get back Harbinger of the Seas, so I don't want that to get countered. Draw your consigned to memory, and guess where that's going? Straight into exile. Like, Domain, I think, is a good matchup for us. They rely on big creatures that lock the board down. Um, yeah, our deck is kind of just built to beat big creatures, so yeah, I enjoy playing against Domain Zoo. I think it is like a good deck. I mean, obviously it's a good deck. Oh, you have Mystical Dispute. Yeah, I forgot I let him draw that a while back. I could have played the land too. That's my bad. Um, so it's a good deck. does not match up well against us at all. Now the question will be, can we mill him out before he times out? Quick race. Ooh, Flage. Sure would be a shame if that got Pixide of Pandemoniumed. And then mill the Kavu. I think we actually gave them 2 Mystical Disputes, so... Well, a Leyline Binding, we are going to get rid of that. It does not in it. Like, the funny part is Leyline Binding doesn't even beat us here. Like, we can just let him have it. Kind of feels bad, but two more turns here. Let's just do it now. 16 seconds left. And draws the Ragavan. That will be the last card he actually gets to draw. How funny would it be if he was playing it out because he had Emrakul in the deck? I would laugh at that. And then Flooded Strand, we're going to exile. And then, I mean, if he had Emrakul, it wouldn't matter. Come on, buddy, F6, F6. We didn't get to mill him out. Well, a little sad that we didn't get to mill him out. However, we did win. Pretty straightforward against Domain Zoo. Obviously, dropping the first one was not ideal, but I'll take it. We got off to a good start, and let's get into round 2. All right, starting on the play, you love to see it. And leans pretty hard. I guess we'll try it. See how good turn 2 Torpor Orb is. I feel like, yeah, just a one of, but hits a lot of the meta. I'm not totally sold on this hand, but we'll try it out. We'll draw into good cards. I do Spire of Industry, Tormod's Crypt. Well, Ensnaring Bridge is going to be good. I do like that they milled 2 Sink into Stupor, because I don't know how many Affinity runs. We're just going to get Saga down. And then Torpor Orb. Yeah, I don't know how many Sinks General Affinity lists run, but probably 4, but 2 of them into the graveyard I will definitely take. They are going to start looping Bauble every turn, which is not very good for us. We can probably get a Grafdigger's Cage off of this Urza Saga. Yeah, they're going to target the Bauble. Tormod's Crypt doesn't do a ton against us. Yeah, we have Academy Ruins, but it's not the end of the world. Mill a second Emery. Whir of Invention is pretty good. That actually might let us... do we just make... No, I think we play Bridge and trust that they have more threats than we do, so us trying to out-threat them is probably not the best idea. And then that'll let us pop this for, honestly, maybe the Grafdigger's Cage, just to shut down Emery. Because she is basically letting them draw 2 cards a turn. Yeah, get your Bauble back. I mean, a pretty slow start from Affinity, honestly. So I don't know if that means their hand is all Disruption. Okay, but here's where they're gonna pop off, I'm assuming. Yeah, getting Pinnacle Emissary, doing Pinnacle Emissary things. It is gonna be, like, we don't really want to draw too many more lands. Yeah, yield. It will, the creature part will stop Kappa Cannoneer from triggering. And so we are going to get Codex Shredder here because we have Academy Ruins. We can start milling ourselves. Yes, they have Torpor Orb, but we basically just wait till there's one good thing in there. I'm going to play out a Mox Opal. And this, and then... I think because we have Rebuke up, we just go get Lantern. And Urza Saga, honestly, it's probably one of the cards we care about here. Tormod's Crypt, like another one of those is fine. Hopefully, if they have an answer to Ensnaring Bridge, they just run it out, because this is a matchup. Domain was a matchup where we could hold a counterspell. Affinity is not, because they're going to have a ton of 1/1s. Even Emery can get in. And they're going to play Pinnacle Emissary. Do we counter this? They got 5 cards in hand. I think we counter something coming after. Tormod's Crypt. Down to 4 cards. Yeah, crack Bauble. The good news is Bauble's like predictable card draw. It's not instant speed. Yeah, they're gonna cast Bauble. Kinda just looking for. Maybe we should have just countered Pinnacle Emissary. Probably should have just countered Pinnacle Emissary. And now we do have to get through 2 Torpor Orbs. Spur Boots is fine. Academy Ruins. Another Lantern. And now just waiting on. Yeah, I think at this point we just fire it off on anything because we don't want all these 1/1s attacking us. Well, I guess it is only like 4 damage. Oh, we let him draw Saga. We'll get our Saga, but it'll be after them. Yeah, we're just gonna fire it off because we want it out of our hand. And then we'll see. I don't know if they're playing Pithing Needle in the main deck. I'm gonna have to do a bit of Googling. Looks like we're playing. A lot of us have 3 Sink into Stupor. Maybe, yeah, probably a Pithing Needle. Well, it does just mean we'll have to get Pixis of Pandemonium, and then, oh, that's my bad. I skipped. Um, Definitely did not want them to get Thought Monitor. Bit of an oopsies there. We will get the advantage of seeing what they grab with Urza Saga first. And then it's kind of just like maybe 1 Pithing Needle. Because if they don't get Pithing Needle off Saga, if it is like Skateboard or something along those lines that they grab, then we can just grab Grafdigger's Cage to shut down Emery. So this is bad for us if they have Cranial Plating, but we haven't seen, and kind of a lot of Affinity lists have moved away from that. Another Kappa Cannoneer, and that is, again, totally shut down by Bridge. Yeah, I should probably auto yield to these. And yeah, this is kind of what we didn't want. They're going to draw. Oh, never mind. Torpor Orb shuts down Thought Monitor, so it was actually a strategic, calculated decision that we made to not mill it. My genius is beyond my own understanding. Underworld's Cookbook will allow me to discard Counterspell here. So I think we're sitting pretty in this one, barring Urza Saga. I maybe should not have said that. Alright, so they're gonna draw a Mishra's Bauble, that's fine. Then they're gonna draw Mox Opal, which is also fine. And then the Saga trigger is gonna go off. I'm also gonna make a construct. Not that it particularly does anything, because we're just dead if they have an answer to bridge, but maybe it'll remind them that I can make constructs, so they should get a Puffing Needle for Urza Saga. That would be bad by them. What they grab? Haywire Might. That is very bad. So we are just dead, provided they know how to use Haywire Might. Like, just kill me. Oh, okay. We're just gonna pass through, let them kill us. Like, we're dead if they activate Haywire Might. So should I concede here? I don't know. Uh, this is when you gotta do it. I think he missed his chance. Turn off auto yields. We don't want counterspell because I do still think we're gonna have to find a bridge. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely take the horrific punt. Sacrifice a lantern. We will make a construct. Well, unfortunately, the other pithing needle on top means they'll know we have two. Oh, okay. I mean, total punt by them. Like, absolute. That's that's pretty bad. Um, yeah, I don't know exactly what to say about that because I mean, they had us dead. I feel a little bad taking this game, but um, yeah, that's unfortunate. Because now they draw Kappa Cannoneer, and from here, I don't know what they might have that kills us. They probably have more sink into stupor. Again, they had tons of opportunity. Like Pithing Needle's not a trigger you can respond to. So they totally had the opportunity, and Spire of Industry taps for mana too. Actually, really nice looking Spire of Industries. Um, like we do have a pretty shaky lock here. And then Urza's Saga, they probably still have a Pithing Needle. I don't think we can really keep them off it. Well, this game is going to end up being a lot longer than was expected to be. I might have a bit of a cut, like we're not doing anything. They're going to draw the Pinnacle Emissary. And then they're going to play another Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, that's fine. And, I mean, we have shut down multiple Thought Monitors with Torpor Orb, so not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, they don't have any card draw on board, so they obviously have these two Tormod scripts. Word of Invention is excellent. And we are going to we're X1. Now the question is there anything, I mean, Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop them from getting an artifact. It just stops creatures from coming in. So it would have stopped the Haywire Might, but I think we grab the Pixis just because that way if they get Pithing Needle, we have like multiple answers. And I do really like Witching Well on top here. Um, it's provided we don't draw two land. Well, we have Underworld's Cookbook. So it is just good card advantage here. Emery on top, honestly, would kind of like her ability to trigger just to speed up the milling clock. It's definitely trending toward back to 2 hour leagues. Yeah, Witching Well I like quite a lot. So we can go Witching Well, Scry 2, bottom, both of those. Codex Shredder on top means I will actually pop it, because then I draw Codex Shredder, play it off the Mox Opal, and then I can just discard uh, Metallic Rebuke to Underworld's Cookbook. And and we win. Perfect. I mean, we were gonna mill them out for sure. What do we want sideboard? Probably the other Pithing Needle. Seeing Haywire Might kind of being their main answer to bridge. Void Mirror is pretty good. Obviously better on the play. Cursed Totem, Welding Jar. They looked pretty mono blue. I think Grafdigger's Cage. Probably Counterspell. They're gonna be too slow. I don't think we can cut all of them. Because obviously with the counterspells as our main interaction, we can't really cut too much from the deck. So, I mean, we'll keep this hand. Like, obviously we're still digging for bridge, but I think hands with the lock generally you kind of have to keep because the lock also works on finding more cards. Well, that is not ideal. Now we need the lock and Pithing Needle. I mean, yeah, Haywire Might's good against us. We have the answers. We did bring in the other Pithing Needle, so just a question of what do we find first? And they're probably just going for constructs here, which will do pretty well against us, unless we find a bridge. Uh, I think we do this and see if they want to go after a land. It is very much a bait saga. Like, we're kind of hoping they exile it. Yeah, they're gonna make some big boys. Honestly, I think we just scoop it up here. It's me 4, 5, 6, like 7. We draw whir. We play. Yeah, we're just dead. Um, Too fast for us, and we didn't have bridge. Like we could have played longer, but there's not really any point. Yes, we would like to play first. I don't think we can keep that. I like the double Pithing Needle part. And then here, kind of keeping it off the strength of Shredder Bobble, being able to something, find the right kind of support pieces. We do have Pithing Needle for Haywire Might, which seems to be one of their main interaction spells. And they're just going to start on a tap land. So a lot slower. Shouldn't have said that too quick. They could, Affinity could dump a whole bunch of 0 drops on your head. Lantern we definitely want. I also like Metallic Rebuke. Probably not enough to hold it up this round, but definitely next turn. Yeah, Haywire might. Do we want them drawing a Thoughtcast? I think probably not. Or is it? Yeah, I think we'll mill it. This lets us play Witching Well and then hold up Metallic Rebuke next turn. Baubles, we're a lot more fine with them having. Shadow Spear, we're fine with them having. Back-to-back artifact tap lands is, yeah, they're going to warp out a Pinnacle Emissary. Yeah, we're going to have 6 this turn. They're getting mana. Pinnacle Emissary being an artifact itself is pretty good. So yeah, they would have been able to Thought Cast. They're able to Thought Monitor. So they're going to get Shadow Spear and Urza's Saga. Definitely two good cards. Well, one good card. Sink into Stupor on top. We are not going to let them have that. And we're definitely putting Metallic Rebuke to the bottom very quickly. Bottom. I guess we can leave it on top because it is kind of a land. And then yeah, see, there's times like this where it would be kind of nice to peek their hand because, like, if they were forced to play the sink as a land, it would be a bit less punishing for us to let them draw it. But here, I do think we counter. Like, if we counter a Thought Monitor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pinnacle Emissary, we let them have, and then they're going to follow it up with the Thought Monitor off the Mox Opal, and that's what we counter. So that trigger we yield to, and then this we counter. And then take a bit of damage, and then find. They got 4 in hand. They played this Urza Saga. Well, let's go get ourselves a bridge and see if that can hold. 4. Uh-oh. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. And let's grab ourselves an ensnaring bridge. Pithing Needle on top. Yeah, probably goes after Emery. Because that shuts down the bobble loops better. They are going to get something off Urza's Saga. So 2 of their cards in hand are Spire and Springleaf. I think, yeah, just writing the cards down in the corner can help. It's good to keep track of. Yeah, we knew they had Shadow Spear. Kind of forgot they had Shadow Spear, but did know they had Shadow Spear. Springleaf Drum, we knew they had that. We're just going to yell till end step. They do have a Haywire Might. Okay, so their last 2 cards are Spire and Mystery Card. Now. And Kappa Cannoneer, and then the land. So I think it's going to depend on what this Urza Saga can get. And then Pithing Needle. Yeah, there's not a lot for us to go after with this Pithing Needle. So we are just going to go after Emery. I don't know. Maybe there's something they can get off Saga. Like, they can't get Engineered Explosives because it has X, and Urza Saga specifically says 0 or 1. So we shall see. They draw the Bauble for turn. Oh, Force of Negation. Less worried about that now. Make your construct, and let's see what they get. Always yield. And that is going to be a Mishra's Bauble. They just get Mishra's Bauble. Uh, yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, they have no cards in hand. This is exactly where we want to be against Affinity. Yeah, you have a 23-23 trample lifelink. That does nothing. And we can mill ourselves because it's going to untap before any of these baubles come off. Oh, another Codex Shredder on top. Perfect. They are going to get like 3 card draw, but because, again, decks without instant speed card draw, much easier to lock out. Because, yes, they can draw cards off bauble, but they can't like speed up when they draw it. So we can respond. So if there's a bad card under Opal, we can just mill it, and they don't have any opportunity to respond. Um, Force of Negation. I think we're gonna go with the approach. It doesn't kill me right now. Emery also doesn't kill me right now, and in fact, I would be okay with them playing Emery. This Codex Shredder is absolutely gonna eat a Force of Negation. Maybe we should have milled it, but I'm of the opinion that when you maybe not take unnecessary risks, especially when time is not a factor, like 14 minutes, more than enough time to mill them out. Pinnacle Emissary is fine. We're just gonna run this straight into a Force Negation. Urza Saga though can't be forced. But then we're just gonna work the clock here. I'll kind of skip ahead and I'll get back to the video if anything exciting happens. And so one thing we are going to have to be a little careful of because we are playing mono blue is that we really don't want to draw this Metallic Rebuke. Um, they do have another force in hand right now. I kind of said who cares about them drawing counterspells. So I'll just be able to use our mill rocks on ourselves as well. But we've been very careful milling them out. Like we're not rushing anything at all. That I do want to mill though. Like we are taking our time, that's for sure. And now here with Witching Well, yeah, we're gonna keep this one. We can pop it here because we can for sure play. No, because if we play 4, pop the well. No, we could have an ensnaring bridge underneath, and then we would die. So, um, just if we had, I guess if we had made the mana, we could have done it a lot better. But you just gotta be careful of Witching Well. There's no point in drawing 2 cards and risking what is a done game here. Well, our opponent here is really tanking on us milling the sink. Not sure if that means they're dead, but I think an interesting philosophical question is if you are in this situation, is it worth it to activate the Pyxis of Pandemonium? If they have 0 cards, is it disrespectful in their upkeep to pop the Pyxis? I mean, they're not quite at 0 yet. Whir of Invention doesn't have anything useful left for us to get. I don't even think Urza Saga has anything useful. We have 2 Shredders here. One got exiled, I think, and yeah, I don't know where everything is. Yeah, it's gone. It's somewhere. Um, I mean, when you're in this position, there is a card that comes to mind that I really don't want you activating those abilities. And then let's play an Opal. It is pretty slow at this point. There's a lot going on the board. They do have, I mean, we have 16/16s. Our deck, we are not built around 16/16s. Our opponent, on the other hand, has some nice 36/36s. They are kind of built around doing that. As a general rule of thumb, if your Lantern opponent has 16/16s, you are probably dead. Do they realize that? Not really. I mean, they are dead here. We're gonna mill them out. But I don't want you just to come back and it's gone. So we're just gonna close in on the 2 hour mark or 1 hour mark after 2 games. But hey, 2 wins. against two pretty good decks. So we did pretty massively benefit from a huge punt from our opponent. Sure, they're a little bit salty about that. I'll be back when their timer's a bit closer to zero. Well, we had a rather salty opponent who just let the clock drain out here, and I didn't have to just sit there and talk for 5 minutes. So I think you guys should take that as a win. I'll take that as a win. This is a win if Magic the Gathering isn't frozen. I actually don't know what's going on here. There we go. So you should take that as a win that I wasn't talking for 3 minutes. I'll take it as a win that we won the match, and I'll be back soon for game 3. All right, round 3, and we are on the play with what I think is a fine hand. It is by no means amazing. I do think there's an argument to lead on Saga to just get the lock down faster. I think that is probably what I will do. I'll see. Archway came up in the first game, hasn't really come up since then. Ooh, sorry about that. We will see what we're up against. Oh, I was going to play the Saga. Well, we're going to play Saga on 2. That's probably something that plays Urza Saga. So Affinity or Amulet Titan. If they go to their draw step. Affinity. Alrighty. Same matchup as round 2. Oh, and they do play Sink It to Stupor. Untapped, that's pretty good. And they have Saga. Weapons. Yeah, this is pretty good. So we are going to have to get a Pithing Needle down on Claws of Gix, as that combo's pretty hard with weapons manufacturing. Now the problem is we have... This is actually a big problem, because they have multiple ways of getting rid of weapons manufacturing. Okay, we are going to deal with things one step at a time. And that current step means playing Grafdigger's Cage and Lantern of Insight, and I do not like our chances this game at all. I do actually think this version of Lantern specifically does really well against Titan. Just being able to counter Titan is pretty powerful. And they're playing Arcbound Ravager, so more... Yeah, the round what we played against in round 2 was not playing Arcbound Ravager. But yeah, against Titan, like being able to hold up the counter spell is pretty good, as if they pump a lot of resources into the Titan, we are then able to counter it, which is pretty good. Um, Sorry, just thinking through lines and talking at the same time. The fact that they have both of the cards that work really well with weapons manufacturing is pretty bad. I think we'll do that. We kind of want the Witching Well anyway, and then we're kind of looking at Mox Opal off of this Urza Saga just because we need the third blue source. He loves Witching Well. I'm glad. Yeah, Witching Well is double Saga. Okay, okay. So he's got Arcbound Ravager and Weapons Manufacturing as 2 of his cards, and we don't know the other 2. Okay, he did tap both Sagas. The problem is we have to get like we probably sacrifice a lantern here, targeting ourselves. I mean, that's not really good. Yeah, we're kind of forced into opal here because we need the triple blue. And then this will let us, well, I guess we can do it on his turn. Importantly, he can't get something like Haywire Might because we do happen to have the Grafdigger's Cage. Looking for, I mean, we need Ensnaring Bridge, but then also need two Pithing Needles. Krang is a pretty cool card, actually. But yeah, drawing like four cards, very good. Um, Not liking our chances here, but probably looking at another slow one. Thinking about whether to make a construct. One thing when you have two sagas, you can always just float mana and make the decision afterwards. Because you can tap the second, like you can make a construct off of this one. Comes up occasionally when we have double construct. Well, they ended up doing the same thing as us and getting a Mox Opal. And they figured out the whole floating mana thing beforehand. And Arcbound. One, two, three. Yeah, well, weapons manufacturing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Uh, yeah, there's not a lot here for us. I think Doorkeeper Thrall shuts down artifacts entering because yeah, there's not a lot of ways that we have of interacting with this. Like yeah, they need the other sack effect in order to remove the tokens, but they have the other sack effect. Um, yeah, sack bauble. We want the beginning of combat to spin for whir. This is kind of the first step. We're then gonna get whir of invention for one pithing needle. Hope to find a second one. Does he have metallic rebuke? He does have metallic rebuke. Did we let him draw that? I think on our own upkeep, we're gonna worry because we don't want to draw this metallic rebuke. All right, they got in for two. They're gonna, well, we're just gonna whir in response because we definitely want to land here. Well, or pithing needle. One of the two, not metallic rebuke right now. Because yeah, we need a bridge, and then I mean, yeah, I should have been more specific when I said a land that we wanted a blue one. He draws a pithing needle of his own that we actually cannot do anything to prevent him from drawing. And then this game might just be done. 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm just counting how much he can put because he can swing for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plays the pithing needle. Yeah, He's got it with the Arcbound Ravager being the free sack effect and then being able to swing under bridge because we still have this Witching Well in hand. Far from ideal, so we're gonna do basically the same thing we did last time. Void Mirror, Pithing Needle. Torpor Orbs may be more important. Um, Cut the 2 counter spells and run it back. We'll be on the play, but I think the weapons manufacturing build is a lot worse for us. Is a bit unfortunate that they did draw exactly the right cards. Well, our opponent did not follow their we're gonna be nice thing. I guess we can keep. He's got a pretty fast opener. We got like a bit of disruption. Admittedly not great, although they do. Mulls to 5. Honestly, I'm not convinced this hand can beat a 5. Mulls to 4. Mulls to 3. I wonder if they're hitting the wrong button. Holy crap. Well, pressure's on now. If I knew he was gonna mull to 3, definitely would have mulled this hand. Because our opponent has 3 cards in hand, and I don't know if we can win. Oh boy. Oh, weapons manufacturing is pretty good. He's got a land, Kappa, and then 2 on Pinnacle Emissary, Mox Opal. Wow, he's one land off of being able to play Kappa Cannoneer. That is unfortunate. Might as well play this out. And then I think we just Grafdigger's Cage. Oh, we can do everything. We're gonna Pithing Needle on Claws of Gix. Yeah, we're gonna hit Claws of Gix over the what you call it, Engineered Explosive because you can find Claws with Urza Saga. And then if he just slams this weapons we'll draw Codex Shredder, we can mill it. Okay, he just concedes on that. That's, sometimes your opponent just mulls to 3, we'll take it, but I'm not thinking that's gonna happen again. Well, we had a bit of a disconnection during sideboarding. I think we keep this. We got Lantern Shredder. Torpor Orb is good against a decent chunk of their deck. We got Urza Saga, which probably won't win us the game. They did mull down to 5. I wonder if they're having some issues hitting the wrong button, or if they just happened to mull to 5. They probably just happened to mull to 5. Steam Vents untapped into... Again, we are missing a bridge here. At Pinnacle Emissary start, gonna be fast. Gonna make a good number of 1/1s here. Yeah, importantly, it does trigger on cast. So Kappa Cannoneer gets shut down by Torpor Orb. Pinnacle Emissary does not. 2 drones. It's not the end of the world. Honestly, like a Mox Opal would be a sweet draw here. Honestly, like I feel like turns 1 to 3, Mox Opal is typically a pretty strong draw. Just speeding you up a turn. Art kind of have a huge glut of colorless lands, which makes War of Invention a bit worse. And because they have Mishra's Bauble, well, I guess Lantern doesn't really change things for that. I was gonna say it makes playing Lantern over Shredder. I don't think it really makes a difference, but we'll see. They do only have 2 cards in hand, so if we can run them out of cards and then find a bridge quickly, we might be in okay shape. They are gonna draw. They're gonna be able to refuel fairly quickly here. Well, Urza Saga is a very good card. Claws of Gix, also Very good for them. Kappa Cannoneer. That is a fast clock. But they are out of cards here. And that is a 5/5. We're gonna play Torpor Orb because it's gonna hopefully buy us a couple turns. Just making it so non-creature artifacts give the +1/+1 counter, but creature artifacts will not. One card in hand. If it's not a land, they can't make Saga tokens. They are like smoking us for 7, so there's that. Like we can make some chump blockers with Saga. Again, Mox Opal would be like one of our best draws here once again. Pyxis of Pandemonium. Now the question is, do we dump our hand? I think it's correct. We take 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we just dump our hand and then try to dig. Because he probably has to get Mox Opal. I mean, that is Ensnaring Bridge. We are going to Codex Shredder on in response to the bobble trigger, I think. Or he doesn't have one now. We don't want him to have engineered explosives. Just EE on 1. Um, Lantern, get rid of the EE. He's gonna draw another Saga and have a Saga trigger go off. Hopefully, well, Opal will make this a 6/6. That's 6, 7, 8. That gives us 5 life to work with. The good news is we will be able to hold up a Metallic Rebuke, but that actually might not be good news because that means the drones will still be able to get in, which means we have to get the Underworld's Cookbook off of this Urza Saga. Hopefully I don't forget that. So he's got Saga and 2 unknowns in hand. We have to keep him off weapons manufacturing. Hopefully he hasn't disconnected again. Well, after a pretty long think, they did get the Mox Opal, as expected, so we're taking 8. They play the other Saga. So we kind of have to hope that their last 2 cards in hand are not things that kill us. Like Pinnacle Emissary is fine. Pinnacle Emissary we can survive. They have 1 unknown in hand. Yeah, so we go down to 5. And then we're going to draw the Ensnaring Bridge that we really want. Float mana. Probably just get another Codex Shredder. And then that gets the ability. And then we're going to Academy Ruin. Oh! We were supposed to get Underworld's Cookbook. Oh, I literally said that like 2 seconds ago. So they do only have 2 flyers that can attack right now. But if they just make a artifact construct, any of the flyers don't have haste if they make more. Oh, like I literally just said we need to grab cookbook like 2 minutes ago, and then I totally forgot to just grab cookbook. So we definitely just fire this Metallic Rebuke off on anything we can. Because we don't want them attacking if they're 1/1s. Like just play a spell. Don't just sack the Saga. Yeah, they're gonna get in for 2. They know what they're doing. Good news is if they played something to buff it, we could counter it with Metallic Rebuke. And then if we survive, our lock will be much stronger. Yeah, we're just firing this off. We should have done that sooner. So we're gonna do that, and then build till end step, make all your flyers. And now we go to town, start milling. Holy engineered explosives. Arcbound Ravager is fine. Just tap that. And then are we gonna get the Underworld's cookbook? And then we're gonna play Pithing Needle. And we're gonna take out Claws of Gix. I don't really know. We're actually gonna do that. Because I think him having a second. Yeah, I think that's worse for us. And Haywire might definitely could be a card he's playing. Then Arcbound Ravager. Yeah, if the one card in hand is a weapons manufacturing, which I don't think it is, but it could be, then yeah, obviously we're kind of in trouble, but and by kind of in trouble I mean dead. But we'll see what Saga's able to grab. And then yeah, that's kind of the last thing to do. Yeah, so he's gonna make mana. He's not getting Mox Opal because he would have like an Ether Spell Bomb. Importantly, we are only on 2 lands because our other 2 lands are Saga. We cannot cast Whir of Invention. We cannot cast Ensnaring Bridge. So we are going to have to dig for lands to find those. But let's see what he get. Yeah, he's Pithing Needle. Probably on Codex Shredder would be my guess. Weapons Manufacturing on top. Yeah, on Codex Shredder. So this is gonna be a slow game. Holy cow. Because it's now just Pixis that we have to mill. Arcbound Ravager. Yeah, that's fine. It's just Pixis. We can't draw extra cards. Well, we have Academy Ruins. Never mind. We can draw some extra cards. But now we have to think about like where we want our own cards to go. We don't want him to draw weapons manufacturing because Claws of Gix is online. We are, I guess, fine drawing Metallic Rebuke. We're gonna discard it to Cookbook. But this is the problem with Pixis over Codex Shredder and why Codex Shredder is a better card. Because Pixis we can't mill ourselves to dig because our lock is so fragile here. And then if we have something really good on top, I think we have to get rid of Rebuke because we want a second Pixis and we never get a second Pixis down. And then honestly, having Cookbook is really good right now because it means if we draw Whir of Invention, Ensnaring Bridge, we can discard it and we don't have to panic use Pixis. Even something like another Lantern would be good here because then we could use it kind of as an extra mill. They had Krang was their last card. Oh man. Oh, it doesn't enter. We have Torpor Orb. Oh, Torpor Orb has saved us like twice this round. Um, but yeah, this is going to be require a very, very tight play, I think, because there's no margin for error in our milling. Skateboard is fine, and like we just discard Codex Shredder because oh, we win. Okay, they conceded to that. We'll take it. Holy, these first 3 games have been a slog and a half, but we are 3-0 with Mono Blue Lantern. Round 4 on the play here, and I think we open a pretty easy keep. We have the lock, we have Saga, we have a needle, if that's something we're up against. They kept 7. I think we actually lead on the witching well and then just play the full lock next turn. Saga, I guess we'll take Opal, can go on the bottom. I guess Opal's kind of another land. Bobble, Bobble. Come on, Lantern Mirror, Lantern Mirror. Probably Affinity. Yeah, it's Affinity. Well, I guess the queue is just dominated by Affinity. We are gonna get the Pithing Needle down on. I think we'll play Pithing Needle, see if they crack the baubles in response, and if they don't, I'm all for like Emery Bauble is kind of the best thing they can be doing. Like if they make a big board and we have Ensnaring Bridge, we don't really care. So we're gonna Saga, trigger. Very heavy Affinity matchups here. And as we saw in the previous ones, they are not fast matchups. Yeah, we're just gonna go Mishra's Bauble because I don't know why that's all darkened out. Yeah, that Emery plus Bauble is kind of the best thing to be doing, and we kind of drained them for 2 cards by naming it, so I'll take it. And then depending on what our next draw is, we're probably just locking them next turn. They can, I guess, get back Pinnacle Emissary, but they can't warp it from the graveyard because warp is a from hand ability. So I wonder if there's an argument to making constructs. They're waiting. Like the thing is, Affinity can make way bigger creatures than we can, so I think we're better off just getting Ensnaring Bridge, especially if they counter this here. No, they don't counter that ability, so I think we do. We're gonna run out the Witching Well, see what we have on top. Scry 2, looking for bridge. We're gonna put both of those on the bottom. We're gonna play Lantern of Insight. They're gonna Metallic Rebuke it, that's fine. So then I think we play Saga out. Yeah, we're just trying to lock them anyway. We still can get 2 constructs if needed. They are still looking for a second land, which is pretty good for us. I mean, if they're holding all counter magic, maybe, yeah, go get your 1/1s. Preordained in the graveyard. Well, that makes the constructs a bit worse. 2 cards in hand. Because yeah, like Ether Spellbomb, they can get back with Emery every turn. So, which they can also get back to draw a card. So because we didn't draw anything here, yeah, we'll make a construct, force them to use the Ether Spellbomb. And then we can get our other Pithing Needle for Emery, like the next turn. Whir of Invention on top is perfect. It doesn't matter which one we play out. Because then probably Grafdigger's Cage is what we get, because then we care about Mishra's Bauble on top. I do kind of like that they just didn't crack them in response. Now, might it have been correct to play Emery anyway? Yeah, hopefully they just go Kappa Cannoneer here. I think that would be the best card for them. Come on, tap out, tap out. You're playing Kappa Cannoneer. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this does not let them hold up Metallic Rebuke because they just have 2 artifacts. So if their last card's Metallic Rebuke, we can still use Whir of Invention, which is big. And then Ether Spellbomb is instant speed card draw, but I think as a one-time effect, we let them have that. So we're just going to float a colorless. I wonder if they use, no, they don't. So we're going to get our Grafdigger's Cage to turn Emery off. Play this Archway. 2, 3, boom, 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 boom. We tap too many, but that's fine. We have 1 card in hand, and we'll grab the Ensnaring Bridge. Another Whir of Invention on top is perfect. Lets us grab another Codex Shredder to then beat Ether Spellbomb. And should be pretty in control here. I'll probably wait till we get 2 mill rocks, and then editing magic will take over. They're going to play a white. What do they have for white? They're just going to use the Ether Spellbomb. That makes sense. So they have 1 unknown in hand. We shall see what that is. The good news is they no longer have instant speed card draw. So we'll be sitting in a pretty good position. All right, they conceded. We were about to draw the Whir of Invention. And after our 3rd game against Affinity, we kind of have a better idea of what we're doing. What have we been cutting? Counterspell? I think. Not me saying we have a better idea of what we're doing and then immediately forgetting what we cut. Yeah, this is fine. Need the Pithing Needles, Cage, Cookbook. Got some Metallic Rebukes to fight back. Whir of Invention being at instant speed. Like, Whir of Invention is a very powerful card. And I think the upside of Whir definitely makes... I would love to keep this. We cannot keep this. This, I suppose we can keep. We're going to put the counterspell back. It's kind of sketchy, but we'll see. I do like that they've put a Sink into Stupor into play untapped both games, although we might be looking at a pretty fast start here. Yeah, the fact that Pinnacle Emissary and then Mox Opal immediately gets turned on by it is pretty strong. Now they didn't use Mox Opal mana. They could be holding up Metallic Rebuke. I don't really like this. I wonder if they counter it with Metallic Rebuke. No, they don't. Engineered explosives on 0 hurts them more than it hurts us. I mean, it does work with weapons manufacturing. I think we just go like Haywire Might. Just assuming that they'll have some ways of finding it. And then next turn, we're not really doing a lot without a land. Except for holding up Metallic Rebuke, even though they have a Metallic Rebuke too. So I don't love it. Fiery Eyelet. Yeah, they are playing weapons manufacturing, so maybe we should have gone after engineered explosives. Well, I mean, we're just gonna play the lantern and then play the land. If they counter the lantern, we can play the land and hold up Metallic Rebuke too. Maybe should have just played the land first. Yeah, that's all no. And if we're just taking two, it's not bad. They only have two cards in hand. Up to three now. So we'll let them attack, and then we're kind of just firing the rebukes off on anything, and they're gonna do nothing. And the question is, if they do nothing this turn again, do we whir invention? And if so, what do we whir invention for? I would rather just bait with Metallic Rebuke here, or just not bait, but just use Metallic Rebuke here. Yeah, so this we're gonna counter, but I think they have one back. But we can, well, I was gonna say we could word invention for Pithing Needle on engineered explosives. Honestly, like Urza Saga would be really good here. And then I think if they don't do anything, we Ensnaring Bridge. Or at least try to. We gotta get the counters out of their hand somehow. Or we wait a turn and then have well, we don't have Whir plus Metallic Rebuke up anyway. So kind of Metallic Rebuke if we need to. Yeah, don't really like that. And if they counter back and then play some zero drops, I think we're okay with that because then that lets us Warp Invention. And I think they're committing to just holding up counter magic forever. So I'll play a lantern. Ooh, it was consigned to memory. Okay, it's possible we were playing around the wrong thing. It should have just slammed work. It is nice that our the clock against us is pretty slow. Another fiery eyelet remains with two unknowns in hand. And they're going to play the Pinnacle Emissary, which still leaves the Metallic Rebuke up. Is it greedy to go for Witching Well here? I think we upkeep a Metallic Rebuke to force them to spend their mana. Or upkeep War of Invention, sorry, not Metallic Rebuke. Both blue cards with Improvise from same set. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they do have the Metallic Rebuke. So they had both. We weren't really getting it through at either time. So we're gonna take 5 and then have to find something. They have weapons, so we're probably dead. They got one card in hand, so we can dig a bit. We kind of just have to. They're gonna Pithing Needle something relevant. Like we kind of need to now Pithing Needle, Engineered Explosives, and Claws of Claws of Gix. Otherwise, we're just dead here. Oh, they're gonna need a lantern. Come on, come on. Lantern doesn't do anything. Also, we have two copies in our graveyard. Um, gonna let us draw. Torpor Orb. That's something. I don't really know if it's a good something. I think we have to keep Codex Shredder just because that can let us dig to a pithing needle a lot faster. But maybe we should just put that to the bottom. I think we're dead. We'll let them play it out here if they have one artifact that's a non-creature. Or that works too. Alright, at least we're on the play for game 3. And I do think we just run it back. I'm not really liking Emery in the sideboard. Maybe this is a matchup we could leave it in for, but I think Emery Bobble doesn't really win us the game here. Yeah, keep that. They're gonna go down to 6, down to 5. Maybe they'll go down to 3. I'm not opposed to that. This is our third game in a row against Affinity. So totally understandable to skip to round 5, which will hopefully not be against Affinity. Come on, go to 4. You know you want to do it. They are really thinking on this 5. They kept a 5. And we're going to Codex Shredder. I've talked a lot about my rationale for Codex before Lantern before, but just with not wanting to give them information, I definitely think they have consigned to memory here. I wonder if they counter. Honestly, I kind of want them to use it on that. And so we're just going to pass because they don't have any pressure and there's no point running Lantern into consign. And if they just pass here, I mean, they can use consign on the Saga trigger. Otherwise, I'm just going to make tokens. Pithing Needle, good pickup. I think I mean, they probably have consign, so we're just going to go the make token route, force it out of their hand, or force them to play to the board, give us a window to get constructs down. And then Academy Ruins is pretty good against counter spells, like if we just keep playing the same thing every turn. They're going to go Fiery Islet. Well, I mean, if they pump out a bunch of 1/1s and tap out, I think I'm okay with that, because then we can get a bridge next turn. EE on 0. Emery. Well, there's a lot of threats on the board now. Mox Opal, weapons manufacturing in the graveyards where you want it to be. Let's see if they counter this, or if they counter the search ability off Saga. Or if they counter the warp off Pinnacle Emissary. Technically, Consigned to Memory can't counter this. No response. I think, yeah, we're just floating mana. Even if they counter it, I still think we have a pretty good turn here. They don't, so we're going to get Mox Opal. An island, play a Pithing Needle. Because they are going to Metallic Rebuke it, and we are not going to counter that. No. And then we play Lantern, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to play a Lantern, Pinnacle Emissary is fine, and then we're going to Whir of Invention, blue, 1, 2, 3. Done. Going and getting an Ensnaring Bridge, and they have one card in hand, which we don't know what it is, but another Pinnacle Emissary is fine here. They have Pinnacle Emissary plus Mystery card. Honestly, we probably play Academy Ruins and get Pithing Needle back. Like I talked about, well, play this War of Invention first, and then so they're gonna Emery, get back a Mox Opal. And then their last card in hand is the Pinnacle Emissary from Exile. And then your last card in hand. They're not going to tell us. Understandable. I think we'll do that. And then question is, do we get? I mean, we have time. We can wait. Do we get a needle for engineered explosives? Do we just mill the engineered explosives? Do we? Yeah, that's fine. This we don't care about. If only there was like a 2-mana artifact that shut down cast triggers, like Torpor Orb for ETBs, but for cast triggers. That would be pretty cool. So they have Ether Spellbomb and a mystery card in hand. Spellbomb, you got it. They can't activate the Spellbomb, fortunately, and there's nothing for Emery to get back. So if we mill the engineered explosives, Emery can get it back. So then we're kind of forced to... So I think we Whir of Invention, go get another Codex Shredder, then Academy Ruins, put Pithing Needle on top, then Pithing Needle on Engineered Explosives. We're actually well, actually maybe we get Pixis here to exile things that we don't want them looping with Emery, and another Codex on top, but I think we want the Pithing Needle first. So then we're gonna play Pithing Needle on Engineered Explosives. And then they still have that one card we don't know about. So like it's not even good game at this point because I mean weapons manufacturing, unfortunately we're probably gonna have to use Pixis. Even though I really want to draw this Shredder. Well, not how you do it. Oh, we don't have anything for Emery actually. So that can get them a Spire out of or a Spellbomb out of the graveyard every turn, which makes things a lot more annoying for us. So we still have 2 Worm Inventions. Urza Saga can go get Grafdigger's Cage. We have more Pithing Needles. There are still things we can find. Yeah, they're gonna get the Spellbomb back. We don't really want them to have this Saga because I think it lets them get like a Claws of Gix. And maybe we should have just got the Grafdigger's Cage and milled engineered explosives. I think that might have been correct. I think like every match this video has been half an hour. It's gonna be a 3 hour league. Yeah, all sorts of drones. Still 43 cards left, pretty far away from that. I mean, you think 43 cards, they have probably 2 weapons manufacturings, they have some number of sink into stupor. If sink is their, like if sink is the card they have, we are dead. Even if we draw another bridge because they can make 1/1s. So we are going to very happily draw Codex Shredder. And with more than enough to pay for Metallic Rebuke, if that is their one card. Or we didn't see the consign to memory, so I guess they don't have it. Let's see if they draw here. Like from their perspective, they should just move to their draw step, force me. Yeah, I mean, if they have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we are dead to sink. And yeah, downside here, there's nothing we can do about it because you can't hold a counter spell in hand because they have 1/1s that fly. Mystical Dispute is fine. They misclicked. Oh, oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Um, be careful which side you're playing your MDFCs on. Well, Lantern is a very good deck at punishing mistakes. So our opponent mulliganing into Oblivion earlier, probably not a mistake, but just had bad hands, but we'll take it. Not using the Haywire Might. There were mistakes to be had. But now we gotta slowly grind them out. And we will be looking to use Pixis here because we do not want them to get Counterspell. We would like them, however, to counter this Lantern, because the Lantern doesn't matter here. And yes, I would not be mad at all if we skipped ahead to game 5. It's definitely going to be a grind here. Yeah, 3 slow Affinity matches, back to back to back. Want a variation, but hey, I can't control what I play against. They are really tanking. So I don't know, are they thinking about countering it? I don't know what all they're taking on. So they're cracking the eyelet to draw a card, and I now think they have 3 Mystical Disputes in hand. So the odds of us resolving something ever is pretty low, but again, I don't mind them having uh, counter spells. We have 3 rocks, like everything we need is on the battlefield, so we don't want them to have this preordained. But if it's just Ether Spellbomb looping, I think we can handle that. So I think this is kind of funny. His hand right now is like 3 copies of Metallic Rebuke, 3 copies of Mystical Dispute. And so I wonder how many of them he burns on a Wishing Well. Which is not known for, oh, okay. I mean, it's probably going to burn them all on whir invention, but I think we're actually going to put whir invention on top and then bobble on top. And then Because if we use Pixis here, we can just get rid of Bobble. Like if we mill something from them, we're getting rid of Bobble and not Whir of Invention. Still pretty locked up here. So here they spent some mana on Aether Spellbomb. So I think we're gonna go for it here because I mean they still have 3 mana. Obviously they're gonna like unload the clip to try to stop it. Um, yes, we're gonna pay 3. I mean, and then Voidmere will have the ability to pay. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'll still only be able to pay once. But no, we cannot pay. And then you can draw your boots. Boots had a sink on top, so we're just gonna go to their upkeep. Just gonna mill that sink. Pithing Needle, also definitely milling Pithing Needle. And then Island they can have. We punted hard. Definitely should have Pexist this Pithing Needle. Kind of forgot about Emery. So this game just got a lot harder for no reason. Um, yeah, a lot harder for absolutely no reason. Pretty would have been pretty easy to just Pixis it, and now we got to deal with this needle. I think the problem with Voidmere is it stops their 0 drops, but it's Aether Spellbomb that they're cycling. So I think we maybe I mean we'll never mill out to our own Pixis. So I think we're just gonna get Lantern back because it in a pinch we can use it as another mill rock. And then I mean they can waste a bunch of counter spells on it, but I think we're fine. Definitely big misplay on my part, letting that Pithing Needle go through. Yeah, like that. That was pretty bad. No. Uh, it's gonna be a lot more stressful. 22 cards. I don't know exactly how many answers they're gonna have. Like we have 2 sinks gone, 2 weapons manufacturing. The good news is, like, we can still, like, Pexis can still stop them from getting any artifacts they really cared about. But here, yeah, we're gonna do the exact same thing where we want Lantern back, especially with them now holding the card draw. And then this way, yeah, if they Emery and there's something good under Emery, we can use the Lantern to sacrifice and shuffle. Yep, both of these are cards we want them to have. They are doing a good job of milling a lot for us. And here, like, we just have to take it slow. Yes, I would love it if you milled 4 cards when you already had an Emery on the battlefield. They milled another sink. Again, I don't think they wanted to do that. Like they only have 15 cards left. Maybe they thought they had something they could get that was valuable. And we're gonna get Voidmere. It's just gonna shut down the free stuff. Urza Saga is great, but probably too late to matter. So draw your Kappa Cannoneer, and then Metallic Rebuke we don't care about. Again, they draw a card a turn. We don't really need to risk it. Weapons manufacturing. So if they go to cast Aether Spellbomb in response, we are going to exile it because we cannot be letting them have that. And I guess the Lantern shuffles become a bit less effective when there's only like 12 cards. And then Claws of Gix lets them sacrifice whatever they want, but without weapons manufacturing, that doesn't do a lot. So that's fine. And then another bridge on top. We still died. I mean, the same stuff still kills us. We still have to lock them out. Even, oh, they concede. Perfect. 12 cards left. Up to 4-0. 3-0 against Affinity. Fairly sloppy letting them get Pething Needle, but overall pretty happy with how this league's going so far. All right, round 5 on the draw. I think we ship this hand. Yes, it has Opal, but it doesn't do a lot beyond that and is pretty reliant on what we draw. Well, that's unfortunate. Uh, yeah, we kind of depends on us finding lands. And then I guess we'll keep this and I think do that. Or we could do, yeah, I don't hate doing that. Counterspell is going to be hard to hold up this game, and then Bobble plus Shredder gives us some flexibility of looking at. Swamp into Thoughtseize. All right. Maybe they're playing Lantern. It is possible. Not going to say it's likely. They take the Bobble. All right, not afraid of Codex Shredder, I see. And well, we're gonna have a lot of mill rocks when we get Lantern down at some point. So then we're probably gonna play Saga. I mean, sorry, we're obviously gonna play Saga. Hopefully, we're gonna make constructs off of it. Street Wraith, looking like something Shadow. So then we'd probably make constructs and not attack. Yeah, Bobble definitely looking like Shadow. Nether Goyf, good card, but not the scariest thing they can play. Kind of waiting for another land from them. They did kind of pause on Mishra's Bauble, so maybe they were reading the card that got revealed. Street Wraith, another Bauble. So a lot better that it was a Nether Goyf than like a Moon Shadow. Whir of Invention, so we are going to hope for a land off of this Urza Saga, because it would be a bit unfortunate if we uh, had to get Mox Opal off of Saga instead of Lantern, because we really want to go Lantern into then blue source for Whir of Invention. But I think we're sitting okay here. Obviously, we're not going to mill them because Nether Goyf cares about the graveyard. But I think like if we draw land, we're in a pretty good shape. Kind of unfortunate for them that they've looked at 4 extra cards and haven't found that second land yet. But we'll take it. Again, you can't even say it's a bad keep on them because they're playing Shadow. Obviously, you're going to keep like multiple Street Wraiths. Yeah, you want to get in for 3. 7-turn clock we're on here. I think another Thoughtseize. Really, we just need a land. Um, okay, they found their second land. Now, maybe it's not Shadow. I feel like Shadow, either they've just unfortunately drawn both their basics. That's unfortunate. I mean, the good news is we can get its Snaring Bridge down if we find a land. The bad news is neither of those cards are a land. So then we are going to have to get Mox Opal with this Urza Saga. And then we're going to need to find a land quickly. Yeah, Urza Saga will trigger the Super Shredder, as that is a card that can get very big very quickly. And we probably have 2 turns. I mean, say they dump like 3 things into the graveyard. That's a 4/4. That's for 7. And they exile our bauble with Cling. We'll worry about in the future. They were playing fetch lands, just got a weird draw on their swamps. Yeah, maybe we just have one turn to draw. With Nethergoyf being a 5/6. And yeah, I guess this is one deck you'd maybe want like Soul Guide Lantern against. Because they're gonna get in for 7. And then they need to grow Super Shredder twice. Grafdigger's Cage is not at all what we're looking for here. So we have to get Mox Opal. And then just try to find a blue source. But that is rather unfortunate. Maybe we should have kept the third land over the Codex Shredder. Um, but yeah, all we can do here is hope they hopefully they can't put 2 things from the battlefield. They've already used Mishra's Bauble twice. And they are playing blue. So I don't know what blue spells they could have. Blood Crypt, they're gonna shock. If they have Lightning Bolt, we're dead. Sign in Blood targeting themselves. So I mean if they play other shadows, we are fine-ish. Nethergoyf and Shadow. I mean, again, it still comes down to we need a land for this Whir of Invention. And it has to be a blue land. So no Urza's Sagas or Academy Ruins. And another Codex Shredder. We will scoop it up. Tough one there against Shadow. Yeah, just maybe should have kept it more aggressively. We saw enough swamps from them that I don't think Harbinger's worth it. Welding Jar. We did see the Blood Crypt at the end, so they might have some red, and then I think it's maybe Emery. So maybe some package like this in. Torpor Orb doesn't really stop what they're doing. Pithing Needle doesn't have a lot of targets. Grafdigger's Cage is good. So then maybe we go 1 Jar, 1 Emery. Yes, I would like to go first. I actually don't hate this hand. Maybe we're crazy for keeping this, but kind of in favor of going the construct route and seeing how it turns out, because we will be able to. Yeah, if one of these was a bauble, would have been like perfect. Because next turn we'll have Metallic Rebuke up. They're gonna fetch shock. So they must have just had a bit. They definitely just had a weird draw last game. It's gonna be a 7/7 with Menace pretty soon. Witching Well's actually pretty good because it turns on Mox Opal. Yeah, this happens. They're gonna look at our top card, which they probably should have done after Witching Well. I don't know what they think Witching Well does, but we can definitely get rid of it. I think we go bottom, top. There's a Saga holding up Metallic Rebuke. And then this will let us kind of spit out a token plus hold up Metallic Rebuke for the next 2 turns. And kind of keep them off threats. Yeah, I think we just rebuke it. See what their other card is. Yeah, auto yield to this trigger. This can be a 4/4, maybe 5/5 if they can do something else. So it's a clock, but I mean our first construct will be a 4/4, then a 2/6/6s pretty quickly. The next one will make them 7/7s. So we will be able to block a fully powered Moon Shadow. And the creatures are just going to keep coming. And so they're, I think, pretty obviously holding up either Stubborn Denial or Consign. I think would be their two options here that you would kind of expect to see. But we're just going to pass through. I mean, Urza Saga not forcing us to play into counterspells and just having the ability to do nothing, make constructs that they have to respond to, and then getting stuff down is really strong and has definitely added a new layer to the deck. Blood Crypt, they're going to keep shocking. If they play a Shadow here, I don't think we counter it because because we can just hold back from attacking them for a couple turns and then not let them kill themselves, and then kind of be in a weird situation where if they want to attack us, we're able to attack them back. Or we are just, yeah. So this is what I mean. Where they're gonna make a 2/2, but when it's just a 2/2, I think we're fine. And we will hold back to block the Moon Shadow. So they have two cards, I think, obviously thinking about counter magic. Well, I like seeing Lantern. We are gonna make a construct off of this guy. And then we'll be able to play Urza Saga and Lantern and hold up the other Metallic Rebuke. And then it's gonna be five off the second construct, 6 off the Urza Saga, 7 off the Lantern. So we're gonna have two 7/7s. Definitely like that position there. They're going to, ooh, so they're gonna get double consigned to memory. So we are gonna have to be careful of which one we want. Oh man, this targets the construct ability off Urza Saga, and this targets the search. This targets the. So if we counter this first one, we will still get to search. We're going to counter the first one. And then we won't get the ability off it, but we do have another Saga, so it's not a big deal. Do they have a Force of Negation here? So then that'll counter the ability. We will get the construct, and we will get the search. And the search is going to be for probably just a Kodak Shredder. We're then going to play an Urza Saga and play a Lantern. And we're not going to swing because I don't think there's any reason to give them a 9/9 here. And I think we're just going to chill with our two 7/7s. If we mill them with Kodak Shredder, it does buff the Moon Shadow. So we just got to be careful about when we do that. If they fetch Shock, that puts the Shadow up to a 5/5, which we can still block with a construct. And if they attack full out, we can block one creature and then kill them on the crackback. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't have any of their creature removal left. They didn't see Urza Saga in game 1. I think For some people, whether or not they see an Urza Saga in game one impacts whether they leave in the creature removal or not. So we'll see. They're tapping for a blue. They're going to target themselves. Okay. So they draw another shadow. I think we kind of want to Pixis this Nether Goyf. So they have Shadow, Moon Shadow, and Death Shadow. So they're going to shock, and their Death Shadow is going to become a 7/7. So they're not getting their Moon Shadow up because they got a tap land hoping to mill a permanent, I'm assuming. So that's going to enter, they're going to Surveil, probably leave on top because that's a good card against us. Importantly, they don't have any blue mana right now. They are at 8, so we can make multiple lethal attackers next turn. I'm kind of surprised they didn't grab a fetch to make the Death Shadow bigger. But like 1/1 and 6/6, if we swing for, yeah, we'll make a construct swing and then be in okay shape, I think. Because they'll be forced to sacrifice 2 creatures blocking our constructs. We'll have 1 back, so they can't kill us even if they make a really big Death Shadow. And they're tapped out. If we swing with Menace, we double block, and then we kill everything. So we're going to mill the Consign to Memory. Don't want you drawing that. We are going to Pixis. Yeah, I think we're fine drawing a Bauble because it makes it bigger. Yeah, we're just going to float the mana there. And then probably grab the other Codex Shredder. Urza Saga gains the ability. It's going to make us a 9/9. We play Bauble. So then we swing, they block with Moon Shadow and Death Shadow. They have a 6/6 Menace, which will become a 7/7 Menace. That hits us down to 4, because we have 1 blocker back. They shouldn't have anything with haste. Yeah, I think we just go on the attack here. Force some chumps. And I think we're in a pretty good position. Yeah, shadow down. You gotta block the other shadow. Yeah, it's exactly as we thought. And now the question here is, do we want Emery? Yeah, that's your 7/7. Do we want Emery? I think because our graveyard is pretty empty, we are going to upkeep Exile to Cling to Dust. Because we don't want them gaining 11, or like gaining 3 to go up to 11, because that would make like 1 construct not lethal. If they spend 4 mana to gain 3, on the other hand, that is totally fine. And Consign to Memory does not save them here, so I think we let them have it. Important to know, they remember they do have a Consign, but I think, like, knock on wood, they have to play 2 more blockers. Like, they can get in for 7, but they can't double bolt us or anything like that because they only have 1 red source. They now have a second red source. Would also like to note the over 7-minute time advantage we have on our opponent here. So it is kind of true if they do play a second blocker and hold them all back. I mean, they have consigned to memory and one unknown in hand. We knew they had Shadow. I mean, you need another blocker, otherwise triple Urza Saga. They did see Emery on top of our library, so I think we just side her out for the next game. Uh, yeah. We can't block because it has Menace. I mean, I guess I could have been playing like Teamer Battle Rage or something. That would have got us. They're gonna Sign in Blood themselves, right? So yeah, double Sign in Blood. So it's gonna be Street Wraith and Mystery Card. Nether Goyf. I mean that could have been a reason not to attack with the Moon Shadow, because now they have Nether Goyf plus Street Wraith. So you play Nether Goyf and you die still. I don't really see how they get out of this, but we'll let them think about it. And then we should be Nether Goyf, that's fine. And then you have Street Wraith plus Consigned to Memory in hand. We're just gonna make another construct so you really know what beat you this game. And we're seeing like no Consigned to Memory is kind of their interaction. We're gonna get that. They can't Cling to Dust out of the graveyard, so we're just gonna swing and take them to game 3. Block, and down he goes. Okay. Again, nothing here saves you, but thank you for taking more game actions. And we win. -9. Well, we are now one game away from 5-0 with Mono Blue. Pithing Needle literally hits nothing. We saw nothing that game. Street Wraith, Mishra's Bauble, okay, it hits a few cards. Grafdigger's Cage is good. On the draw, I don't like Ashiok. Torpor Orb doesn't do anything. Damping Sphere doesn't do anything. Cursed Totem doesn't do anything. Witchbane Orb, like they can Sign and Blood us. But I think we have Cookbook. Like if we're getting there, I don't think we want a 4-drop. Harbinger of the Seas. Maybe we just bring in the other Needle because it's an artifact. Yeah, let's go with that. I don't love it. Well, we haven't managed to find an ensnaring bridge in either game. This has a hand that can certainly get an ensnaring bridge. So we'll keep it. They mull the 5. Now, I guess Witchbane Orb would be good against like Thoughtseize effects, but it comes down pretty slow. So maybe a bit less good in that sense. And they do lead on that Thoughtseize. They should probably taking Whir of Invention. They see we have Counterspell. And they're going to take Counterspell, which I don't know exactly what that means they have, but Grafdigger's Cage will probably just get dumped next turn, because we are going to be able to make some constructs off of Urza's Saga. Looking for Opal totally works. As that'll be our 3rd blue source for Whir of Invention. And then provided Urza's Saga doesn't get countered in any way, we will get Lantern off of that. They are going to be able to get some pretty big Super Shredder. I was gonna say Death Shadow. It got big pretty quickly. We're gonna play Mox Opal. There's a Saga, just to threaten constructs here. Grafdigger's Cage. And Codex Shredder. They're kind of pausing on everything, which makes me think maybe Force. They do have two cards in hand, and they left us with War of Invention. So we would like to set up a situation where we force on their turn. Or, sorry, not force, where we cast War of Invention on their turn. Yes, we'd like to always yield. Looking at my top card. Not sure what they'll see there. And so importantly, they don't have the right mana for a Force of Negation if they have to hard cast it. Uh, yeah, we're just gonna take a draw. You draw your card. Pyxis of Pandemonium. Decent pickup, but I don't think we play it here. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. We're gonna go Archway. Because it can't use its ability, we'll just Pyxis here. And then, are we playing around their last card being Force blue card? I think so. We're just gonna play Whir on their upkeep so they don't get a chance to, well, their last card can't be Force blue card right now. So we're just gonna fire it off. Now, did them keeping counter or taking counterspell right from the start mean that they didn't know they had they had a meltdown or something in hand, or does it mean they didn't know we had ensnaring bridge because we didn't play it either of the first two games? We will see. Three unknowns, two unknowns. Basically, there's going to be two cards that we don't know what they are for a bit. Two black, Sign in Blood. Yep. Yep. Abigail, I mean, a very strong card, not into ensnaring bridge at all. And I mean, it could target something of ours. Like if we had an Emery, it would be good against that. It would be good against the construct token. Could have been funny. He could have let us make tokens with Saga and then just killed them with Abigail. I think that's how that works. Because it loses the ability that gives it power and toughness. Um, yeah, over a 10-minute advantage. I do think the clock on Moto is kind of nice. Um, yeah, let's do this. Go grab a Lantern of Insight. Yeah, that's fine. And then I think we go to. Do we cast? Do we draw off Witching Well? We take a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's enough that it kills us. And then that gives us a Metallic Rebuke in hand. Okay, that's going to give us two Metallic Rebukes in hand. But we are only taking one a turn from Abigail. So if we find something like an Underworld cookbook, I kind of like the idea of holding. I mean, Abigail's such a slow clock. Yeah. Oh, and we knew their top card was a something. We saw what it was, right? Oh, and I can't go back in my replay. Or there is no replay to go back in. I think, yeah, we saw what it was. We don't want a Another Goyf, probably don't need another Metallic Rebuke. Moonshadow, you can definitely have. This will let us whir for Underworld's Cookbook and then just hold up Metallic Rebuke the rest of the game. Because if they're only attacking for one, we don't care. If we have Cookbook, obviously. And then if they play Moonshadow, I think we just intentionally mill permanents with Codex Shredder so that, yeah. And I think we're good from here. So I mean, we have once again hit a half-hour game. This is a solid like 2.5 hour video, but looking like it's gonna be a 5-0 with Lantern, so we'll take it and I'll be yeah, we're gonna mill it just to grow the Moonshadow. Oh, there's their meltdown. Oh, we're just gonna do this. 2, 3, 4. And we'll go get the Underworld's cookbook. And then from here, they are totally locked out. We will probably pick this because we don't want them to get meltdown. But hey, 5-0 with Lantern. Here we're just going to go for the classic play a Pithing Needle, name you are already dead. If there are any better cards to name with Pithing Needle in this situation, I would love to hear them. It's kind of funny how they cracked the Verdant Catacombs, worried we would name that when they're just totally locked out. Well, we are getting to the final mills here with 2 Pixis and 2 Shredder. We will mill them out on their next turn, fortunately before they time out. And this is what I'll say. It is not Lantern players who are slow, it's the people that play against them. Like, why are we up 10 minutes on you? Like, you have way less decisions, way less clicking. Like, you are in no think mode. Yeah, yeah. I don't really care. Like, you're thinking I'm just gonna let you draw the meltdown? Like, I mean, you're in this situation mathematically dead for a while, given that they had like 2 meltdowns in the deck. Like, as soon as your number of cards that matter is less than the amount, oh, we got Grafdigger's Cage anyway, is less than the amount of mill rocks we have, like you are dead. Just in case the bottom card's an Emrakul. I mean, this is the Lantern way. We have successfully vanquished our opponent. All right, 5-0 with mono blue. I will take it. Let's talk about it in the wrap up. All right, what did we learn about mono blue Lantern? And overall, the deck performed very well. We went 5-0. I will say one qualifier there. It wasn't friendly leagues, which I played because I'm cheap. Um, in friendly leagues. So take that as you will. Well, I don't think they published the deck list for it, but this is the list I played. We played against Domain Zoo, Affinity 3 times, and then Shadow in round 5. And I think the one thing to say is that all 3 of those matchups are generally favored for Lantern, I would say. Like, if you were only going to play against Domain Zoo, Death Shadow, and Affinity, I think we'd be favored. I think we're the favored, like we are favored in all 3 of those matchups for sure. So we did sort of get lucky, but I think the deck performed well. Counterspell, we basically never saw, and we basically cut it in every sideboard game. How much of that is what we were playing against versus Counterspell actually being bad? Not sure, but didn't love it. Metallic Rebuke I thought was fine. Counterspell, not really. Sideboard changes. Emery never really came in. Again, don't know if that was just the matchups, but didn't love having her there. Harbinger was really good against Domain. And then, I mean, these cards, they're all like singletons that are going to come in different matchups. I think one list I'm looking at is doing something like this, where similar idea still lets you play Harbingers playing Whir of Invention, but in Dimir. So you get access replacing the hand disruption, or sorry, replacing counterspells with hand disruption, like traditional lists. So I might play that in the future, still working on it a bit. But let's crack some treasure chests. Uh, Grave Pact, cool card. Final Fantasy. Had to think about which set that came from. Ooh, Leonardo's Technique. Maze Mind Tome. Cool card. Line Breaker. I think I opened another one of those. And Splinter the Mentor. Whenever a non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen. Feels like a commander exclusive card. So not great from the treasure chests, but we will take the trophy 5-0 with mono blue, and I'll see you guys in the next one.